But if they say, no, I need to go to work tomorrow, or I have a party tonight, I need to go out, then you will agree with the participant at different time when they will start the urine collection. It can be, for example, on a weekend, when they will be at home. So try to make it easy for them. You will basically reach an agreement with them when to start, and it will also give you roughly when to stop urine collection 24 hours later. And you will also explain to him or her how to store and handle the urine. You will also mention to him when and how the urine will be picked up, the collected urine will be picked up, and that the participant might receive some reminder calls. There is also some information on what to do in case of the most frequent problem. So, as mentioned, if possible, please start the 24-hour urine collection at the end of step 2. The participant has just voided in order to give you the spot urine sample, okay? So his bladder is empty, and we want to go from empty bladder to empty bladder within 24 hours, okay? So you start the urine collection with an empty bladder, and you finish it by voiding one last time into the container, okay? If it is not feasible for the participant to start the urine collection right now because they're going to a wedding tonight or they're working tomorrow, then you agree on a different day, maybe on a weekend. And you will record this information on the tablet.
Igor?
Yes, please.
May I ask you a question?
Sure. In Turkish, please.
Okay. I'm asking you.
Yeah.
If they agreed to collect 20, sorry, I'm sorry, 24 saatlik idrarı toplamaya hemen başlamayı kabul ederlerse step 2'den sonra o zaman bizim 3 defa gitmemiz gerekir oraya. Çünkü açlık kan şekeri step 3 için onların aç kaldığı bir günde gideceğiz. Sabah, ertesi sabah için gittiğimizde onlar idrarı toplamamış olacaklar. O zaman biz 3. kez gitmemiz gerekebilir. Bu gibi durumun önüne geçmek için buna uygun bir planlama yapmamız daha doğru olmaz.
So it's a very good and very important question. It will come then on the next slide. So what we want the participants when they are collecting 24-hour urine, they should not be fasting. So you want to have their normal eating behavior and drinking. So they should not be fasting. For blood sample, you need them fasting. So you cannot do both things at the same time. You will need to go 1/3 time to the households that are doing 24-hour urine. Anyhow, there is no way to do this just in 2 visits. You need to go back to pick up the 24-hour urine container or to finish the procedures, and then you will agree with participant on the date for date and time for the blood analysis. So for those people, there will need to be 3 visits.
Bu gibi durumda şöyle bir planlama yapabilir miyiz? Step 2 bitti. 24 saatlik idrar konusunda kendisiyle anlaştık. 24 saatlik idrarı bugün öğleden sonra başlayarak ertesi gün öğleden sonraya kadar bitirdi, bir sonraki günü. Ve ondan sonra biz ondan aç kalmasını isteyip bir sonraki gün sabah gittiğimizde her ikisini birden alabiliriz.
Yeah.
Yani 2 kere gitmemiz bu şekilde planlama yaparsak uygun olur. 24 saatlik idrarın başlangıç ve bitiş saatlerini kaçırmamak kaydıyla.
Yes, so it's ideal case actually. The participant collects immediately 24-hour urine sample.
It will wait 8 hours.
Yes. Yes. So let's say you are there in the afternoon.
Yeah.
Let's say you are there at 4 p.m. in the afternoon. Then the participant will finish the 24-hour urine collection tomorrow at 4 p.m. And then you can ask him, you can agree with him to come back day after tomorrow.
After the fasting.
After the fasting, and you will pick up the container
Okay.
at the same time. This would work. So yeah, okay. So here the instruction for participant. When you have been asked on the time, okay, you have been asked to collect all the urine you pass in one day in the container that has been given to you. This is not very difficult. Here is how you do this. At the agreed start time of the urine collection, you empty your bladder, you void into the toilet. This first urine is not collected. So the person will go to the toilet and will just void into the toilet, and this is when the clock starts ticking, okay? We go from empty bladder to empty bladder. You ask the participant then to record the date and time when he started on the form that that is handed now out to you. Thank you so much, my friend, for doing this. So the participant will record, for example, today's date and time when they have started with the urine collection, okay? From this point onwards until the next day at approximately the same time, all the urine that person passes, both during day and night, must be collected into the 5-liter container. The container can be stored in a dark and cool place when you don't need it. The last collection of the urine is on the second day, approximately 24 hours later, after the urine collection has started. The participants should avoid at this time, approximately this time, also if they don't feel the urge to empty the bladder. But we want to go from empty to empty, so that we are sure to collect all urine within 24 hours. And then basically the participant will record also the date and the stop time. So it's okay if it's not exactly 24 hours. So we should say to participants, do not worry if the urine collection is not exactly for 24 hours. Just record when you started and when you stop. If you miss a urine void, because maybe you need to open your bowels or something else, or go outside, no problem, it can happen, but just please mark as soon as possible with an X here, with a cross, that you have missed one of the void. So Basically, what you are asking the participant is to pass all urine during that day into the jar. Okay? So this is my first void. I void into the jar. This is fairly easy for both men and women. And then using the funnel, I have it somewhere here. Thank you. Then using the funnel, you transfer the urine into the 5-liter container, okay? After you have done that, you close the red lid and put the container into a cool place where people are not seeing it, okay? A couple of hours later, I need to go to the toilet again, so I void again into the jar, and I do the same thing again, okay? I open the red lid, I put the funnel, and I transfer the urine into the 5-liter container. Being careful not to spit anything out. When I don't need it, I store the things maybe in a plastic bag so that it's not seen, and I put it in the toilet. Okay? So this is how it works. Up to 24 hours later, the participant will also receive a reminder call. He or she needs to void one last time into the jar. Also, if he or she does not feel the urge, one last time here, and then you again use the funnel. The participant collects also this last urine void and records on the form the time when the urine collection is stopped, okay? So, this is how it works. Now, when they have done it for the last time, they will call you to pick up the urine. The urine can wait for a few hours, no problem, okay? And you should also explain to the participant that your colleagues will have a call center, will call the participant and remind him when to start, when to stop, ask him if they have any problems or challenges with the urine collection. On the papers you have received, you have also this instruction for participants how they need to collect the urine. It's all written here. Please check it. Today, is it clear for you? Is it correct? Is it understandable? So, what are some of the practicalities? Some of the yeah. So the question was, how fast the samples should be sent out, how fast the samples should be sent out to the lab. We would like this to be as fast as possible, but it is not a problem if this waits even for a few days. no problem. So it's okay. Going back to the 24-hour urine collection, some practical questions that you might get from the participant is why you are doing this. And this is basically because we can, certain nutritional parameters like salt consumption, fruits and vegetable consumption, and iodine consumption that are very important for the participant, for his health, can be determined only based on 24-hour urine collection, okay? We are not testing for drugs or viruses or anything else, and his or her cooperation is very much appreciated. For females, if they have the period, this is not good time to collect urine, so you can agree on a time to collect the 24-hour urine after the period. So postpone the urine collection until after the period. If the participant might come, what if I need to open my bowels? So in this case, please first try to pass urine into the jar and only then open your bowels if possible. The collected urine should be clean without any impurities, without anything else except urine. And then you will have this leaflet, which is basically part of the form you have just received. And this form basically repeats all this information and has some more. You will be also leaving there your phone number so that the participant can call you in case he or she has any question about the urine collection. Yeah. Okay, so I think okay. So the instructions, those are the instructions for participants. So any questions about this part? Any questions about what the participant should do? Okay, very good if this is clear. Okay, so basically there's some instructions for you, just to repeat the process, how the process should like. So after you have done the physical measurements in step 2, and if after you got your spot urine, you will be basically reminded automatically by the tablet also if we are doing 24-hour urine collection in this cluster. Then, if the participant is in this cluster, that is where we are doing 24-hour urine collection, you need to explain the whole process to participant, and if the participant agrees to participate, you need to check with the participant about the history of severe heart or kidney failure, liver disease, and stroke. Okay, just if somebody is so disabled that he's shaking too much, cannot pour the urine and so on, but you will see. If the person started any treatment with diuretics only in the last 2 weeks, longer than 2 weeks ago is fine. And if for women, if they are pregnant, or if there is any other condition that you think the 24 would make the 24-hour urine collection not practical, not possible. What is important is that during this time, the urine collection, 24-hour urine collection, the participant should not be fasting. We want to have their normal, usual food consumption. So basically, in case of the eligible participant, you will get his or her agreement to participate in this part of the study. You will provide the participant with the equipment, with the bottles, with the jar, with the funnel, and you will explain the whole process and give him also the data collection form. There are some blank parts here at the top of the 24-hour urine collection sheet and information form, so you need to put here the missing information in handwriting using a normal pen. You know, what is your name, your phone number, participant name, date of birth, sex, in which cluster this is, and then you will see. You will put here the QR code of the urine, the barcode of the urine container, but also the QR code of the participant. So you give the participant, you give all the instructions to the participant, you hand him out the partly filled form, and then you will have red stickers for 24-hour urine, okay? Not blue, but red. It says 24-hour urine here. So you will fill here on the one of the red stickers, anyone, is it a man or woman, and when he will, and the birth date. You can not fill this part, the weight of the urine yet, okay? We'll come to that part. So you take your fill sex and date of birth, and you put this on one of the tubes, okay? And we are still in step 2, so you scan this tube with the tablet. From the tube, you scan this barcode. And then basically the interviewer can finish the data collection for step 1 and 2 and upload the data to the server. This will allow us to know immediately with whom you have agreed to do 24-hour collection and what is the agreed start of data collection, okay? So people in the call center will immediately be notified this person, and they'll be asking for the phone number, this person has agreed to do the urine collection and has already started or is starting at that agreed time on that agreed day. Okay? And this is where you thank the participant very much for doing this. If he has any question, he can call you, but this is where you leave the participant with the urine collection. Okay? So basically, you provide all the information, you agree on the date and time of start. If not started immediately, you finalize and upload the form 1 and 2 from the tablet, and this goes automatically to the call center. The call center will then be contacting the participant to remind him and so on. This is not your job. So the participant collects urine, and on agreed time he gets some calls, he collects urine, and then he calls back saying that the urine has been collected for 24 hours. Okay? So here is what you should be doing, either you or the interviewer. You will go back to the household and you will basically greet the participant, you ask how it's going, how it went, and so on. Then you will check the participant form, the data collection form. Those are the forms that have been just handed out to you, and here, you can check and see if everything is recorded correctly. If necessary, you can ask the participant, okay, but you didn't write down the time, when was the time, did you miss any voids, is everything okay? So you check this form if it's complete and clear. So then you go to a bathroom or another private place that you can not necessarily looking at you. What you will do, you will have a small kitchen scale like this. You will switch it on, and then you will put the container on the scale in order to measure the weight of the container with urine. This weight of the container with urine is basically the volume of the urine, okay? We are interested in the volume of the urine. And you will record this also here on the red label, which is on the tube, and you will also enter this information into the tablet. Then, basically, you will mix the urine, but then you want it to be homogeneous. You will take the glass, another cup like this. You shake the container using gloves. You fill 2/3 of the cup. Sorry, see this very well. You fill the 2/3 of the cup. You put the lid on. This is now the tube with the red label, and you fill the tube with 24-hour urine sample. Okay, and this is what we need. Now on the tablet, you will scan again. We will see this in the afternoon. You will scan again this barcode from the tube. Basically, we don't need this cup and we don't need the container. We need only the tube. You can pour this into the toilet, discharge it. We don't need this. We need only this tube with red label, which goes then again into the cooling container and goes to the lab. You thank the participant very much for his participation, and you say it was very important, this is great, and you send the tube to the lab. This was basically one last word about the scale. So the scale, you can switch it on and off here. When you switch it off and nothing is on the scale should show 0. Okay? You press Tare if you need to calibrate the scale if it does not show 0. Okay? What is also important is that scale has 2 modes. One is in grams, one is in ounces. Okay? One is in gram, one is in ounces. Please be careful that you are staying in gram. Ounces will give you a wrong number, okay? So it needs to be gram here, and if by chance this is on ounce, you need to press mode. So here is gram. If this small triangle would be here, I need to press mode to bring it to gram, okay? So the important is when you weigh, this is in gram. Okay, this is how the process of 24-hour urine collection will look like. Any questions from your side?
Let me ask you the first question.
Yeah.
If katılımcı bize idrarları verdi ama evde yapmanızı istemiyorum. Yani idrarları bize verdi, kapları topladı ama evde bu hani banyoda şey yapıyorduk ya, çalkalayıp bir şey yapıyorduk. O zaman ne yapacağız?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, you can basically put everything into the bag and do it outside of the house somewhere where people are not watching. Okay?
Okay.
So it's
Tabii bunu dışarıda yaparsanız bir sağlıkçı olarak tabii idrarı sağa sola boşaltmamanız gerektiğini, uygun bir atık şeklinde yok etmeniz gerektiğini biliyorsunuz. Yani sağa sola bırakmayacaksın onları.
Bunu bıraksak aileye bıraksak onları...
Hayır, aile zaten bunu yapmayı kabul ederse orada zaten orada bırakın. Bunu ne yapacaksınız, niye alacaksınız? Hani banyoya girersiniz, bu işlemleri yaparsınız, idrarları boşaltırsınız, ondan sonra kapları bırakırsınız onlara. Onlar ne istiyorsa yapsın. Ama dersek yani evde istemiyorum, dışarıda bunu uygun bir şekilde yok etmemiz gerekiyor.
yeah, please. Yeah.
Katılımcı idrar sonucunu öğrenmek isterse bilgi vermemiz gerekiyor mu?
Yes, the participants will be informed about the results. This is also an incentive for them to participate. I think, sorry, I don't need it. So I think, yes, the participants will learn about the results. They can receive a call afterwards. We have the phone numbers, and they can receive a call with the results.
Laboratuvardan bize sonuçlar geldikten sonra bizim zaten onunla iletişimimiz olduğu için bu sonuçları onlara da bildireceğiz.
Geri bildirim formlarınız
I said about, so I mentioned that, ideally the 24-hour urine collection would start at the end of step 2, but if they prefer another time on the weekend, it's possible as well.
But if he was working and he wanted to collect, he's carrying...
So if they want to collect it during the working hours, what we are proposing is this 5-liter container is maybe too big. To have a smaller...
We have a 2-liter one.
Yes. To give them the 2-liter container,
yes,
which they can take with them. So they would be taking them basically the 2-liter container and either jar, or if they prefer to void directly with the funnel into the 2-liter container, it's also okay. What is important is just that we don't lose any urine. And one word, something that I forgot to mention, when you are using the scale, please put it on a straight surface, not tilted surface, and not something where you have a lot of carpets or something. It needs to be on a hard, straight surface, the scale. Otherwise, scale can show wrong results. Okay? Sorry, we have a question over there, and the microphone is...
Başta kabul etti. Bir iki defa idrarını yaptı. Sonra arayıp vazgeçtiğini söyledi. O zaman ne yapacağız? Yani uğraşmak istemiyorum dedi mesela.
Yeah. So I think what I would do then will depend on how long the urine collection was. If it was only 2 or 3 hours, I would not do anything. But if it was more than 20 hours, I would go back and collect the urine. Again, it's okay if it's less than 24 hours, it's okay if it's slightly more than 24 hours. It's just important that you record exactly the time of start and stop. We can do some adjustments for the duration. We cannot use urine if it was 2 or 3 hours. We can not use urine if it was 30 hours. But if it's close to 24 hours, we can use it. Thank you.
They can also have the second chance.
Yeah.
Sorry, I think this 24-hour collection, now what we have covered so far is to have these carried out house selected was a lady working in an office. And she just carried, she did
So yes, I think we mentioned someday. Yes, so we have also, a 2-liter container which people can take with them to the working place if they agree to do this, if they prefer. Only thing that is important is that they bring everything back into this container. And Laura also reminded me, if participant, that was your question, participant collects only for 3 hours and says then, I need to stop now because I need to go somewhere else, you can agree with them also on another time. They can have a second chance to collect urine. No problem if they agree to do that. The only thing that is important is that they empty the container, you agree on a new time, and they start the process from the beginning. Yeah. We have a question at the table below. Yeah. Yeah.
Şimdi 270 kümeden bu idrar örneğini alacağız. 24 saatlik idrar örneğini. Toplamda bizim yapmamız gereken 864 küme vardı. 270'inden 24 saatlik idrarı aldık. Bir de başlangıçta küçük bir idrar almıştık. Bu 270'in içerisinde mi yoksa o da ayrı bir küme mi? Yani 100, 150 gibi böyle bir rakamı mı var yoksa bu 270'e dahil mi?
Very good question, thank you. So we are collecting spot from everybody because the ministry who is paying for this way is insisting on it. So we are collecting spot urine from everybody, from all 800 and something. And then there will be 270 clusters for 24 hours. Because 24 hours is difficult. We understand that this is difficult. We understand that this is a challenge. And we don't need so much data. Smaller amount of data is sufficient for us. It's enough for us if we get good quality data from 275. So this is why we are asking you to do this very carefully and with high motivation. A lot will depend on your motivation, but only in 270 classes. We don't want to put more burden on you than is necessary.
Teşekkür ederim.
Any other question or comment? We understand that this is difficult. It can be done. We have done this in many countries, but you need to go slow. You cannot rush. You need to be very persuasive. You need to convince people in doing it. They can say no, this is their right, but a lot will depend on you to convince the people to do this. In other countries, we got response rates up to 75%. Okay? So we are not expecting everybody to do this, but it can be done. And as I said, a lot will depend not only on participants, but also on you, how you talk to them, how you treat them, how you explain, how you motivate them with your smile, with please, with being kind. Okay? Any other question or comment at this time? Yeah. Yes, please.
Colleagues, I would like to just add two things. First of all, regarding the fasting, as Zivo mentioned, it's very important for person not to fast before either 24 hours or the spot urine. And please be very careful and ask if they fasted or not, because it can be done either from religious conviction of some people, or you know that many ladies now are following the intermittent fasting, so ask if they did not fast for before the collecting the urine. This is one thing, and the other thing that you are going to do the interview, which will take around not you, but your colleagues, which will take around 1 hour. During this 1 hour, it is possible that a person would like to go to the toilet at some moment, and you can always use this opportunity to collect the spot urine while you are in the household. These are two things that I wanted to mention.
Thank you, Laura. Very important point. Thank you. Any other comment or question? If not, please read them in the afternoon, in the evening, throughout the instructions for participants. You need to understand them well. Maybe we made some mistake. If you find some mistakes, please let me know. Let us know. We will correct. But you need to explain this to participants tomorrow. Tomorrow afternoon, we are doing pilot, including 24-hour urine. Those people where we are going will know what we will be asking them.